Hey, Brinded here. I'm going to be talking about unlocking the body. This is going to be a really important video for me because I had massive breakthrough sort of yesterday, really. I started the day before, and that's a breakthrough with my body. It's something I've been trying to do for 30 years, is to get this sort of unlock in the middle of my back. There was, I just had loads of sort of restrictions away from the middle of my back where I broke it when I was playing rugby when I was a little boy. And I sort of had, I always say, if you've been watching my videos for a long time, as you work on your internal conditioning and your limiting beliefs, and you remove them, there's also a removal from the body. Body-mind connection is obvious to me. I've been working in this field for over 25 years, working with elite athletes and any lots of different professions, athletes, musicians, etc. And there is always an emotional, mental component to an injury or physical problems in the body. And your posture is a reflection of your unconscious mind. As I think it was Jung said, your unconscious meets you in the body. So I just became, now I've looked in the mirror lots of times, looked at my posture and analyzing it and trying to find out what the problem is. It's impossible to do with your mind. You anytime that you put your mind into your body and you try and change it, it's going to make it worse. Okay, I'll talk a little bit more about that. Anytime, let's say, a yoga teacher's inputting to a student saying pull your shoulders back and all that shit, that's not good. And it's almost like the fiat money system and governments trying to change it and play around with it. It's never going to last, a system that has the mind as an input. So so I was looking in the mirror and went sideways on it, and I've done this for so many people, and I haven't been able to see it for myself. And I realized that I had a sway back in my pelvis, sway back posture. So it's a shortening of the psoas, and it can be a shortening of the hamstrings, tight or weak or whatever. But it didn't matter. What it was that the pelvis was rotated backwards, like a bit like a jug pouring forward, and it's poured backwards. And I've kind of known that, but these things sometimes you go, oh shit, why didn't I think of this before? But it's perfect timing. As you remove the mental, emotional limitations and conditioning, then the body will change. Okay, so that's kind of the point I'm putting across here. And I've always, if I don't pull my belly in, this is before yesterday, if I didn't pull my abdomen in, it would just stick out. And I've never been able to work out if it's coming from my thoracic, teeth, eyes, blah, blah, blah. And so I realized, and my Alexander technique teacher told me this like 12 years ago. She said, you need to let your belly completely relax so that the muscles can switch on. Alexander technique is an amazing method. I read his book, this mega book. I talked about it many years ago. It's one of the best books I've read. It's this thick book. Can't remember what it was. I'll try to remember, put the link below. It's just fantastic read. One of the best books I've ever read. And it's kind of a bit old school. And at the time, I probably didn't fully understand it. I realized he was genius. And my Alexander technique teacher said, you got to let that belly out. For it, you've got to allow it to activate itself. You cannot activate a muscle yourself. And everyone's trying to pull their shoulders back, activate their core. That's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit, activating your core. That's the mind. That's a mind trying to be clever. You activate the core by lengthening in its perfect state. So what I did was I was standing in the mirror. I just let my belly out completely. And I let it go. I didn't relax it. I let go of the holding. That's important. I'm not just going relaxing. It's just letting go of this this holding pattern. So it's an undoing, just as all my work is in the mind. It's an undoing. It's a removal of things. So I was removing my control and I just let it go. And then what happened was I was just standing there, and my back just kind of clonk, and my shoulders, everything lifted and went back. Now, in my perception, I thought I was leaning backwards, was going to fall over, but I looked sideways in the mirror, and I was perfect posture. So it was kind of bizarre. And when that clicked into place, I know there was no longer needing that need to pull in my abdomen. Like, it just sat there. There was a stretch on it because the abdomen hadn't, so it's hanging out a little bit because the abdomen hadn't been activated for 30 years. And I started walking around, and it was the most amazing experience. Like, I hope you get to watch this video, because it's just, if you've been following me for a while, this is just it was just amazing. I'm walking along, and the things that were happening in my body, my right foot, it always felt like it was a bit short. It just went, it kind of went into the ground. The big toes started switching on. My toes spread out for the first time. Maybe I've had that since I was a little boy. So my foot was fully planted. I got full extension in my hip. My arms were moving differently. My whole body was moving differently. My head was up, of course. My chin was more in. People looking at me differently. I was having different way of thinking about the world. It really fundamentally changed. I won't go into all of that, but with men, I felt more, it kind of triggered me a little bit. I felt a bit kind of arrogant, and so that was interesting for me to observe. And with the women, I felt sort of not arrogant, but giving off a massively different vibe to women who were walking past me. Not that I care about that. There's two massive barges. Let me just show you. Those are quite cool, eh? It's a beautiful place here. And so I also got a change. I could feel my organs kind of going, I could feel my diaphragm, massive difference in breathing. Breathing out, I was fully breathing out. I realized it was 50% before. Then I got all of this kind of in my gut, my stomach area. There's a complete repositioning of my organs, repositioning my esophagus, trachea, and people might say, oh, that's bullshit. But of course it's going to change, because your whole positions change. So everything hanging off the skeleton's going to change. My feet, my hip, I was a massive buff, a massive pop in my knee, like huge clock, and it's kind of moved into a different position. My calf switched on. I mean, it's literally undone all these little things that I've had. And so what I'm telling you this, really I'm telling myself this in kind of a vlog, getting this stuff out there, because otherwise I'll just forget it. And also, if you know you have asymmetries, like I'm talking about, like, you're twisted a little bit, or your posture's not so good and everything. I've always said it since my Code of the Natural days, my body language stuff. You have to undo the mind. You have to get the mind out of the body. So the more sort of cerebral and intellectual you are, the more problem you're going to have doing that. So it's an undoing it. So anytime you think, oh yeah, but I've got to pull my shoulders back. No, let go of that. Let go of all the bullshit that's been imprinted into your body, and let your physical intelligence take over. Let's say you do yoga. Maybe you want to do yoga instead. Get into your yoga positions and let go of anything, like any holding patterns or anything where you're pulling in or you're trying to do something. Just go into the position and let go. That doesn't mean you fall on the floor. It means get into the position like downward dog. You're not going to fall over, but just get your mind out of your body and let go of any, like, you let your belly out. That's a really important one. Just let that belly hang out, because it's not up to you to pull your belly in. That's fucking stupid. And you're breathing, just breathe. Don't even breathe. You can't stop. Breathing's done for you. Your abdomen, your control of your body is done by your physical intelligence. It's not your mind. Get your mind out of your body. It's just ruining it. So I'm going to stop talking there. This has been a massive moment in my life in terms of figuring out my body. I've been figuring out, you know, my mind, deconditioning myself for a while now, and that's what's brought me to this point where my body's now becoming much more efficient and optimal and strong. And so, yeah, I'm just super happy. If you look down there, there's some geese crossing the path with their babies. That's nice. This is the important stuff. All of just being connecting with nature. That's the important thing. And as I said yesterday, on top of that tree over there, there's a kind of a rare stork. This one. Yeah, so this is where I come to reconnect. So get out of your head, get into your body. That's as simple as it gets. Okay, have a great day. Any questions? If you want to know more about how I did that, you just pop a message down below. Okay, thanks everyone. Cheers.